dude, I've been seeing a lot of shit. And now, look, I can get a little conspiracy theorist a little bit,
Yeah.
but every other day, and I'm seeing more and more people be vocal about it, about gun control.
Oh yeah.
Every day. And look, like, I don't necessarily disagree, and I'm sure you probably disagree with this to an extent. I don't really disagree with, some more more extreme background checks, or maybe looking into mental health and stuff, because a lot of people with like extreme mental issues are getting guns, even though it doesn't prevent it all the time. Let's be honest. But I'm not exactly against looking at some things like we can do, looking at people's backgrounds, maybe looking at their mental health, maybe. But as far as, I don't think AR-15 should even be in the discussion, because they make up like 0.004% of the gun murders in the country.
Right.
Right.
Let me tell you why you're wrong.
Okay.
It's okay. No, because what you say is reasonable.
Yeah.
Right. In a reasoned society with reasonable rulers and reasonable people, we go, you know what? If someone's fucking off their ticker, maybe we don't give them an implement of destruction. Like, and maybe they shouldn't have knives around them either. Like, this makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, you got a crazy motherfucker, probably don't hand him a gun. And I think everybody out in the audience can agree. If you know some motherfucker is crazy, you're not going to hand him your 9mm. I'm not going to hand him mine. I don't care how many fucking rights he has. All right. But who is making the determination? How's it being made? This is the problem with it, and why we always have to be vigilant against what sounds reasonable, because what sounds reasonable is what sells poison to people all the time.
Well, it's who gets to, it's kind of like the same definition for, if we start policing hate, who determines what's hate?
Exactly.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
We know how it goes every time. So eventually, and we've seen studies pop up. Now they're bogus studies, but they're peer-reviewed studies that pop up in journals that say people who have extreme conservative values have some sort of, like, they will literally categorize it as a mental deficiency or some sort of latent psychosis or whatever. They're building the framework to label political enemies as this so that they can disarm them on a whim. Now, when you have someone who is adjudicated as crazy, that's when we get the standard, because that's when they get their due process. They go through the system. A person is now judged to be insane, and now maybe they don't have to go to an insane asylum, maybe they don't have to go to a prison for whatever reason, but for something that we have a clear standard, and we can say, okay, for the period in which you are under care and not healthy, maybe you're not able to possess a gun in that time, maybe. And I stick with this, and as an extreme, maybe we could get there. Yeah. But I so distrust the system of determining these things. What these people want when they say, well, we got to keep their guns out of the hands of a crazy person, they want something called a red flag law. And that's where I call up Alabama State Police and I say, listen, there's this crazy boy Camelot twerking on camera all the time. He's talking about smashing bitches, which sounds very violent, and he wants to get himself a gun. I'm very afraid that if he gets a gun, he might smash a bitch with a bullet instead of with a piano or whatever, because he talks about carrying pianos. He's a big guy, very scary. And they will come to your house. They will put you on a 72-hour hold, and they will confiscate any firearms that are in your house without a trial, without a hearing, without a damn thing. And then you have to pay a shitload of money to try and get it back. Even if you come out of that 72-hour thing and you're like, that was weird, that was all nonsense, none of that stuff was true, and they're like, yeah, it was. Now you have to sue to get your own property returned to you, because the state hates to return guns to people. And that shit cannot stand. And if we want that to happen, now, this is the caveat, and this is a hard caveat for the right to swallow too. If we want stuff like that to happen, the only thing preventing it right now is our understanding of rights under the Constitution. The Constitution should not allow that to happen. But if we amend the Constitution to allow that to happen, because as a society we decide that that's what we want, then we can have that type of stuff. And I think the scary thing is, it's possible that some type of amendment on this would go through in the future, and then we're in a real conundrum with the right, self included, where we go, okay, I get now that the government by amendment has the ability to do this. And that means that like 60% of the country or more wants it, but I still don't fucking want it. And that's when things get really scary.
Yeah, dude.
but-
Okay, so like, see how fast you changed my mind. So I don't really see. I didn't consider certain things because I've never applied it to guns. I apply it to a lot of things like social media posts, stuff like that. But you're 100% right. If for some odd reason there's an amendment and things change slightly, suddenly, if I say something that could be disparaging towards, let's say, the current person in power or something like that, suddenly there's a red flag on my social media. Suddenly, I'm failing background checks for getting a weapon. Yeah, so that makes a lot of damn sense.
Imagine how quick your boy Brandon Herrera or donut operator get disarmed.
Done. Yep, they'd be done.
They have political opinions that, and it doesn't matter what political opinion it is. It is now a weapon. It is now a weapon, even if you agree with their political opinions, but you know, they made fun of you. They didn't read your super chat, literally anything. And the feds come in and take every weapon of Brandon Herrera, the AK guy. What's he do? What's his YouTube channel do after that? Yep. And I mean, he could, I guess, document his fight to get them back and hope and pray people stick around. But you know, that's a toss. That's a toss up on if that'll work. And
you're 100% right. So the most important thing in that situation. So I said a minute ago, maybe there's more extensive background checks, but like you said, you can't trust the system because you may fail that background check because maybe you said something that they could deem as dangerous. Like, I mean, shit. I mean, look at it right now. You're 100% accurate. Look at it right now. Let's say I just put MAGA 2024 on Twitter. That would, if there was a law in place that like popped up red flags for social media, I would definitely I'd be fucked right there.
What was it? The FBI or the CIA just released a report that people who use red pill, black pill, and based are dangerous.
Yeah,
potential terror, or potential terror suspects. Like, wait, what the fuck?
And the FBI is saying this for some odd reason. The FBI is like
they're very much we know why the FBI is
for some reason.
I know why the FBI is looking into this. Another one was, I think, Chad, and we know that the FBI is constantly they're trying to find out how to become Chadley because they're a bunch of bitches.
Could you imagine? It's like your name is just Chad. God, slanging nanners. What's up, you beautiful bastard? What's we drinking? Also, Rackets is not a woman for any of the doubters out there. Yeah, I'm drinking White Claw because I'm a bitch. So yeah, dude, I
haven't had any liquor yet. I could.
I 100% have changed my opinion now. That's where I just never really considered that there's so many variables that you could be considered dangerous depending on who is in power and who says what is dangerous. Because I feel very strongly about not policing language, because who then determines what language is dangerous? And it's the same fucking system that would determine what is dangerous in a background check.
Well, my job here is done.
There you there you go. Nick changed my mind in 1 minute. American virus is freedom. As a vet, please don't let my mental health be a judge of 2A rights. The Rambo effect, and the federal government knows my medical records. Thank you, American virus is freedom. That's another good point as well. I appreciate you.
Yeah, that's one of the shitty things that they've been doing or trying to do, or I think even successfully doing to veterans, is they will offer them, they want them to get care for post-traumatic stress.
Yeah,
for example. And then when they do, that post-traumatic stress adds a flag to their background check. And suddenly they're like, oh, well, I'm going to go out and buy this rifle, or I'm going to buy this handgun or whatever. And nope, you can't do it because you sought out care for your post-traumatic stress. So then it keeps these dudes who could really use some help, some counseling, some care from seeking that out, because it means the sacrificing of their rights. And that's fucking bullshit. Yeah.
It's crazy, because I said something in defense of the Second Amendment on Twitter recently, because I'm pro 2A, and I'm from Alabama, of course I am. So I said something on Twitter to the degree of that, and it was aimed at old David Hogg. Is that his name? Old Hogg.
Yeah. David the pillow biter Hogg.
That I was about to say that he loves getting just duked. Anyways,
David opens wide for a big hog.
David, his farts haven't made a noise since 2011. Hog. So I said something disparaging against him. Of course, it wasn't like like personal. It was just like, you know, something with a 2A. And somebody was like, dude, he's just asking for certain reasonable avenues. He doesn't want to ban all guns. Dude, I shit you not. 20 minutes later, David Hogg tweeted about how good the U.S. would be if we got rid of guns tomorrow. And I'm like, this son of a bitch does what? He totally wants to ban. That's his whole. That's his whole platform. He's grifting off of his fellow students that died, and he's been making a career off of it for fucking a decade now.
If you need to add the adjective reasonable to support your argument, well, it's just a reasonable restriction. It's just a reasonable test, a reasonable check, a reasonable thing. That is a code word. That is a code word for shoveling bullshit down your gullet. Be very skeptical to anyone who says they want a reasonable thing, because they are rarely reasonable, often impractical, and even more often outright fucking tyrannical.
Yep, 100%.